My biggest regrets as a filmmaker over the last 9 years have been not making enough films on my own, not reading enough of the classic stories, classic books, and not writing enough about my personal life. And those are three things that I've done a lot of. I've been making short films for about 9 years now, and what it means to be a filmmaker has changed so much over those years. We all get into this for whatever reason, whatever goals we have, whatever careers we see that we want to emulate. For me, it was Rian Johnson. I saw how he made Brick, and then he took a lot of that same crew and made Star Wars. And there was a lot of great films in between and a lot of great films after. And now he's got like creative control over his stories. But there's this saying with filmmaking about making it, where it's like a brick wall. And when you make it, you get slipped through like the cracks of the wall, but no one else can come in after you. And so it leads me to think about like the last 9 years and my biggest regrets as a filmmaker. They're not anything I bought, even though there are some things that I wish I didn't buy. Not like projects I wish I didn't make, or even like collaborations or relationships. It's nothing like that. It's even things I've done, but I wish I did more of, because someone who knows more about all of this than me can answer what it means to be a filmmaker in this day. Or maybe it's answered with just like, a filmmaker makes films. But at the same time, anybody can really put a film together. Anybody can use a camera. Anybody can learn how to edit, put those things together. We see it now on social media with TikTok creators and influencers who are filmmakers. Their work tells a story. And so as we're like bombarded with content and AI stuff, you have to blend a filmmaker making films with what are you making films about. And so my biggest regrets are not making enough films all the time for no money. I mean, that's the thing that I did the most. All of my short films are made with no money. They're just our friends putting them together. I've done so many. I've done close to 20, but I wish I did more, because without all of the hours of practicing putting shots together, having an idea, writing it, and then trying to shoot it, and then taking what you shot, trying to edit it to what you shot, failing, and then having to fix it and have the film become something. Being a filmmaker is doing all of those things. You can't learn that without doing it often. But the other side is, what do you make films about? And so my other biggest regret is not reading enough. At first you hear like, oh, read just so you know like how to write or what words look like written on a page, especially when they tell you to read screenplays. You want to see the screenplay formatting, how people got their ideas across on the page. But I wish I read more classics. That's one of my biggest regrets, is not reading more of the classic books and the classic stories, and understanding and letting those ideas become a part of me and come out in my work subconsciously. And I think that that's something, a through line you see through a lot of great writers, great storytellers, is they've read the great books. They know the stories. There's that saying that like, every story's been told, but not by you. And that's where the third regret comes in. And I wouldn't even say this one is a regret, because I feel like I've understood that to be a filmmaker, you can't just dedicate your life to the craft. That's one thing. I mean, you can, but then you just know how to make films. You don't know what to make films about. And I feel like the best films are personal. And so you have to live your life. But not only that, you have to write. And I write a lot. I filled up all those tan journals with thoughts. It's like a diary from over the years, But I wish I did it more. And I read this book, The Artist's Way, and there's like the morning 3-page journal. And I did that for a while, where you just write out whatever. Even if you write, I don't want to write this to fill up 3 pages. You write that. And I haven't for the last couple of years. I've written a little bit, but I haven't been on that 3 pages every morning. And so I just wanted to make this quick video to kind of talk about those things and say that, these are my regrets after 9 years of doing this. Doesn't mean I can't do them now. And it's just my advice to younger filmmakers. My biggest regrets as a filmmaker over the last 9 years have been not making enough films on my own, not reading enough of the classic stories, classic books, and not writing enough about my personal life. And those are three things that I've done a lot of. Not that anyone really asked. You clicked on this video, and if you made it to this part, you're going to get this advice. But my advice towards younger filmmakers is to do those things. Make movies often about your life. Change names if you have to. Change some things up. The best script I wrote flowed so well because nothing was really fake. I mean, you exaggerate some things, you dramatize some things, but it's based on my life. But when it's personal, it's easier and it's harder because you're like, you feel vulnerable, but you chose to be a filmmaker. How much music do you listen to that's just so impersonal, you know? The best music is the stuff that hits you harder. I mean, at least for me. And so it's the same way with films. It's the only way to be an artist as a filmmaker, if you're not just making videos for other people for money, the only way to be an artist is to have something to say. Well, you have something to say through understanding the world, through living your personal life and processing it, and through practicing taking your ideas and putting them on the screen. And that process itself, the third process of like, once you know what you want to make a film about, you can't get that idea across without understanding the filmmaking language, because all of it is a language. And you can't just expect yourself to be good after a couple of years, but you can if you dedicate a lot of time to making your own films and trying and failing. Because the lesson I learned is filmmaking is expensive. You have to continue to find ways to do it, even if it's small, even if it's smaller than the last thing you made. You know, it could be better. And so, yeah, those are my regrets and my advice. One of my main goals for 2026 is to make a lot more YouTube videos about my filmmaking journey. So subscribe if you're interested in that. And yeah, there's a lot more to come.